Okay, so all are here. Most of yours camera is off. Please turn on your camera, children. Okay, today we will take the topic transportation in human. So when we talk about transportation, then it means that any substance in our body is being carried, be it enzymes, be it hormones, be it oxygen, be it carbon dioxide, any kind of substance, or even the nutrients, those are carried in our body and they reaches to different cells and tissues. Okay, so that is
Repeat what you said.
Yeah, I said, yeah, no problem. I just started with the topic. Today's topic is transportation in humans. So, in transportation in humans, when we talk about the word transportation, normally also you must be seeing that the goods are being transferred from one place to another through exports and imports and all those things. So, when we are talking about the human body, then the little things which are there in the human body, like your enzymes, hormones, your nutrients, carbon dioxide, oxygen, vitamin, mineral, anything in our body is transported through blood and through lymph. There are two things that help in transportation. The first one is blood and the other one is lymph. Okay. So when we talk about blood, just a second. When we talk about blood, has its own components, right? Blood has its own components. What are the components of blood? The first component of blood is plasma, right? And the second component of blood is?
RBCs.
Yeah, right. RBCs. Basically, it is blood cells in which you have your RBCs, you have your WBCs, and you have your platelets. Right? So when we talk about plasma, what is plasma? Anyone has an idea what is plasma? We are not talking about the plasma TV and all. We are talking about
Basically, the fluid that is in the blood, the mainly
The cells
the
are
fluid part.
suspended in it.
Yeah, very good. The cells are suspended in it. So basically, when you take your blood and you remove the RBCs, WBCs, and the platelets, the liquid part, the clear liquid part which is left, that is known as plasma. Okay, plasma might have different nutrients, plasma might have different proteins like fibrogen and all, but it doesn't have the blood cells. Okay, so basically, when you from the blood, you minus all the blood cells, which are your RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. The liquid that remains is the plasma. In this plasma, you have everything else like your protein, nutrients, and other thing except the blood cells. Okay, so that is plasma. One term more I will discuss is serum. What is serum? Anyone knows what is serum? Okay, so serum is basically plasma. It is basically plasma minus protein. And specific protein to name? Fibrinogen. So when you take plasma and you remove proteins from the plasma, then the liquid that remains is serum. And the specific protein is fibrinogen. Fibrinogen is a protein which helps in your blood clotting. When you fall down and you get a cut and wound somewhere here and there, so you see a clot after some time. So that clot is basically formed by the protein called fibrinogen, which is there in your serum, right? Any problem in this? Okay.
Ma'am, when you said the protein that's there in the serum, isn't it just the protein? Do you have to mention that it's in the serum, or like protein alag se, or is it with the serum or something?
This protein is present in the blood, but when you remove this protein from the plasma, then that liquid remains is known as serum.
It's called serum.
मतलब जो
Yes.
सीरम है उसमें ये प्रोटीन नहीं होगा. जैसे हम प्लाज्मा में आपके ब्लड सेल्स हटा देते हैं, we remove the blood cells from the blood, so what remains? Plasma remains. ठीक है, अगर प्लाज्मा में से हम ये वाला प्रोटीन हटा देंगे तो what will remain? Serum will remain. ठीक है, okay. So the blood components. Now we will discuss about the blood cells, RBCs, red blood cells. Every one of you might be knowing the full form of RBCs, red blood cells. It is also known as erythrocytes, which is a biological term, erythrocytes. Okay. So what is the function of RBCs? Let's discuss the function of RBCs. Anyone? Who has joined by the name of Vivo? Okay. See, RBCs are basically red blood cells. So RBCs have hemoglobin. Okay. Right in the center of the RBCs, you have hemoglobin. And hemoglobin, like I told you in the last lecture also, hemoglobin is your oxygen carrier. It is the pigment that carries oxygen into the different parts of your body. Okay. So red blood cells contains hemoglobin, which is the oxygen carrier. Hemoglobin is made up of iron. That is why whenever there is an iron deficiency in your body, then that amount of hemoglobin or the level of hemoglobins drop down in your body, right? So this is the function of RBCs. Other very important thing, where are the RBCs produced? This is a general knowledge question. Come on, you can answer this. Where are the
Bone
RBCs?
marrow.
Yes, very good. RBCs are produced in the bone marrow. And what is the graveyard of RBCs? Where are the RBCs? Okay, what is the lifespan? First, tell me the lifespan of RBCs. RBC has a lifespan of 120 days. RBC has a lifespan of 120 days. Okay, so after 120 days, the RBCs destroy and they move to the graveyard, and the graveyard of RBC is spleen. There is an organ called spleen in your body. Basically, it is a small nodular gland, or you can say it is a lymphatic gland, spleen. So it is the graveyard of RBCs. 120 दिन बाद जब आरबीसी का लाइफ स्पैन खत्म हो जाता है, नए आरबीसी कॉन्टिन्यूसली बोन मैरो में बन रहे हैं, 120 डेज बाद पुराने आरबीसी डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएंगे, डिस्ट्रक्ट हो जाएंगे. सो व्हेन दीज आरबीसीज विल बी डिस्ट्रॉयड, देन दे विल मूव टू द स्प्लीन. ठीक है, एंड इन द स्प्लीन the hemoglobin part of the RBCs retains and the rest part is destroyed. Okay, why the hemoglobin part is retained? Because hemoglobin part is the iron part. Okay, so the body does not destroy and destruct it. It retains the iron part and it shifts it to the liver. The iron part is retained in the spleen and it is shifted to the liver. I don't think this much is there in the course, but at least you should be knowing this, that spleen is the graveyard of RBCs and bone marrow is the place where it is manufactured. The lifespan of RBCs are 120 days. RBCs contain hemoglobin and hemoglobin is an oxygen carrier. This much should be known. Now we come to WBCs.
Can you not rub it, ma'am? Okay, not rubbing it. Okay, cool.
No, I'm not rubbing it now. Next, we come to WBCs. So when we talk about WBCs, the lifespan of WBCs is 3 to 4 weeks. Lifespan of WBCs is 3 to 4 weeks. WBCs are white blood cells. They basically helps in building the immunity of your body and fighting infections. ठीक है? WBCs दो काम करते हैं, दो process करते हैं. If you must have heard of it, the first process is phagocytosis, and the second process is diapedasis. What happens in phagocytosis? Is there any problem? Are you able to understand, all of you? Let me know if I am too fast, okay? Like if you are missing out on something, please just stop me there and tell me. Okay. So phagocytosis is the process in which the WBCs engulf the germs and bacteria. Okay. Like if, suppose if this is a random shape of, it is amoeboid shape. I am not making amoeba shape. I am making a normal, this kind of shape. ठीक है? Irregular shape का होता है WBC, कोई specific shape नहीं होता है. ठीक है? But when we talk about engulfing means, suppose this is your bacteria or germ, the WBC will open up and engulf it. Engulf मतलब किसी चीज को खाना, ठीक है? So in the process of phagocytosis, the WBCs open up and engulf the germs and bacteria, so as to protect your body from any kind of infection. Okay. And what happens in diapedasis? In diapedasis, the WBCs squeeze out of your blood vessels and they fall on the germs and bacteria. So these two things are different. Phagocytosis and diapedasis are different. Phagocytosis में WBCs open up and eat the bacteria. Diapedasis में WBCs squeeze out of the blood vessels and fall on the surface of the bacteria and germs and just kill them by creating a pressure over them. Okay. But both these process happens in your body to enhance your immunity or to fight the infection. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So now I am erasing. Is it okay? Should I erase? Okay. So, and platelets are basically the cells. They also build up the immunity. You must have heard of this, that when you have dengue and you have some severe kind of infections, or you have high fevers, the number of platelets tend to get low in your body, which is a risky element. So platelets are also there to enhance your immunity. Okay. So these are the function of your WBCs, RBCs, and platelets. Now, overall, we need to know the function of blood. Like, what does the blood do in your body? So when it comes to the function of blood, blood helps in transportation. The first function, it helps in transportation. Transportation of gases, which is your carbon dioxide and oxygen. Transportation of nutrients. Transportation of hormones, enzymes. So the basic function of blood is to transport. Is it clear? What is the second function of blood? Blood helps in clotting. Next function of blood. What else the blood do? Anything else that is coming into your mind? Anything? Transportation, clotting, and during the pregnancy, the blood also provide nutrient and nourishment to the growing embryo. So that is also one of the function of blood. Okay. Okay. So about the blood we have discussed. Now the heart. Okay. Now we are coming to heart. So when we talk about heart, what comes to your mind? What is a heart?
A muscular organ that pumps blood to different parts of the body.
Yes, correct. What else? Anyone else? Only Pranjal is answering. Everyone agrees with Pranjal. Okay. So he is saying heart is a muscular organ that pumps the blood to the different parts of the body. Okay, which is correct. It is a muscular organ pumping the blood to different parts of the body. Heart is basically the size of your clenched fist. When you close your fist, the size of your fist, utna bada heart hota hai. Heart is centrally located. It is neither to the left nor towards the right. It is centrally located and it is tilted towards the left. Okay, it is tilted towards the left. When we talk about heart, heart is having a covering known as, heart is having a covering known as pericardium. The covering of the heart is known as pericardium. Like in the last lecture, I told you the covering of lungs. Who will tell me? What was the covering of the lung that protects the lungs? You don't remember? I told you about pleural. Remember? Pleural fluid and the pleural covering. Okay. Anyways, so that was of lung. When we talk about heart, the covering of the heart is known as pericardium. And the pericardium is filled with a fluid known as pericardial fluid. Okay. So now this pericardial fluid protects your heart from shocks and jerks. Okay. This fluid basically absorbs any kind of shocks or jerks. Is it clear? Okay.
Ma'am, what does the fluid do?
Fluid prevents any kind of shocks and jerks. Suppose you are having like any kind of accident and you are getting, या फिर कभी कभी एक्सीडेंट नहीं, कुछ ऐसा बहुत स्पीड बम्पर या कुछ ऐसा होता है तो बहुत जो शॉक्स होते हैं एकदम रैंडम ऐसे, so those shocks and jerks is absorbed by this fluid. Okay, it does not allow the wall of the heart to be damaged. It just absorbs the shocks and jerks. I've written it also. Okay. Should I erase?
Ma'am, where's the fluid located?
Fluid is located in between the pericardial membrane. Pericardial membrane के बीच में, suppose ये तुम्हारी membrane है, ठीक है, तो membrane के बीच में you will have the fluid. And this whole membrane along with the fluid will be protecting your heart. It will be the outer covering for your heart. Okay. Should I erase this? Okay. Now, when we are talking about heart, we have to discuss the internal structure of heart. I am making a study diagram for you. Okay. This is just for your understanding. If you understand this diagram, you will never be confused with the concept of heart. Okay. So, heart ऐसा square नहीं होता है. So, don't go on that. ठीक है. See, heart is made up of, or you can say not made up of, heart is basically divided into 4 chambers. ठीक है. Chambers कुछ अलग चीज नहीं है. ठीक है. जैसे हमारे घर में 4 कमरे होते हैं. ठीक है. ऐसे हार्ट में भी ऐसा समझ लो 4 कमरे होते हैं. Chambers are just like small rooms. Okay. There is no scientific term in chamber. Chamber is a normal term. ठीक है. So heart is basically having 4 chambers. The upper 2 chambers, that means the upper 2 rooms of the heart, are known as atria or auricles. Okay? And the lower 2 chambers are known as ventricles. I'll keep writing it here. Upper chambers are known as your auricles. Lower chambers are known as ventricles. While I'm explaining this concept diagram, if you find any problem, just stop me there and ask. Okay. Upper 2 chambers auricle, lower 2 chambers ventricle. Now, the ones which is towards the left hand side will be your left auricle. The ones which is there towards the right hand side will be your right auricle. Okay. So suppose this is your left auricle. I'm writing the short forms. Okay. And this is your right auricle. ठीक है. आपको हो सकता है अपने right के हिसाब से उल्टा दिख रहा हो. ठीक है. This is your left ventricle and this is your right ventricle. Is it clear till here? Okay. Now, ventricles, the walls of the ventricles are thick. The walls of the ventricles are thick as compared to the walls of the auricles. Okay. Walls of the ventricle are thicker as compared to the walls of the auricle. The reason being, इसका reason आता है exam में, ठीक है? So listen to it very carefully. The reason being is this, that ventricles pump the blood to the furthest point of the body. That is why ventricles pump the blood with higher and greater pressure. So to bear that greater pressure, the walls are thick. ठीक है, सिंपल सी चीज ऐसे समझो, अगर कोई आपके बहुत पास में ही है और आपको उसको बॉल फेंक के देनी है तो आप हल्के से ही फेंक के दोगे ना, क्योंकि आप हल्के से भी फेंकोगे तो भी वो बॉल उस बच्चे तक या जिसके साथ भी आप खेल रहे हो उस तक पहुंच जाएगी, ठीक है। लेकिन कोई अगर आपसे बहुत दूर खड़ा है, so you will throw the ball with greater pressure, right, so that the ball is able to reach the person. Are you understanding? ठीक है। ऑरिकल्स में क्या होता है, ऑरिकल्स का जो ब्लड है वो सिर्फ वेंट्रिकल तक आना होता है। आई डोंट नो दिस कलर इज विजिबल और नॉट। ऑरिकल्स का जो ब्लड है वो सिर्फ वेंट्रिकल तक आना होता है, ठीक है। सो जस्ट ऊपर वाले कमरे से नीचे वाले कमरे में चीज आनी है, बहुत दूर कोई चीज नहीं जानी है, ठीक है। तो ऑरिकल्स हल्के प्रेशर के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं और ब्लड आपका वेंट्रिकल्स में आ जाता है। लेकिन वेंट्रिकल्स जो हैं वो ग्रेटर प्रेशर के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करते हैं, बिकॉज द ब्लड हैज टू गो टू द फर्देस्ट पॉइंट ऑफ द बॉडी। इवन आपके टोस के भी सेल्स तक ब्लड को जाना होता है, ठीक है। हार्ट यहाँ लोकेटेड है और टोस तक ब्लड को जाना है, इवन द अपर पार्ट ऑफ द बॉडी में भी ब्लड को जाना है। सो बहुत हाई प्रेशर के साथ ब्लड पंप करता है वेंट्रिकल्स से, और अगर इसकी वॉल्स थिक नहीं होंगी तो वॉल्स रप्चर कर जाएंगी, डैमेज कर जाएंगी, ठीक है। सो टू बियर द हाई प्रेशर by which the ventricles pump the blood, the walls are thicker. Is it clear? Okay. Now I'll make the I'm making the major vessels of the body. Vessels are basically artery, veins and capillaries. ठीक है. I think this you must be knowing, but still I am writing it for your reference if anyone is not very sure of it. Your arteries always carry oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood. Your veins always carry deoxygenated blood. That means carbon dioxide containing blood. And your capillaries they are the site of exchange, right? Site of exchange. ये सबको पता है कि आर्टरीज हमारी बॉडी में ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड कैरी करती हैं, वेन्स हमारी बॉडी में हमेशा डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड कैरी करती हैं। जब हम डीऑक्सीजनेटेड वर्ड बोलते हैं तो उसका मतलब ये होता है कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कंटेनिंग ब्लड मूव हो रहा है, ठीक है। और कैपिलरीज इज द साइट ऑफ एक्सचेंज, ओके। सो okay, I have written over here PV, if you can see. PV means pulmonary vein. I am writing it in the side for your reference. PV is pulmonary vein. बायोलॉजी में आप कुछ चीजें हमेशा ध्यान रखिएगा कि अगर कहीं पे भी कार्डियक वर्ड आ रहा है तो दैट मीन्स हार्ट की बात हो रही है, ठीक है। बायोलॉजी में कुछ वर्ड्स होते हैं जिनसे आपको ऑर्गन समझ जाना चाहिए तुरंत, ठीक है। अगर कहीं पे कार्डियक आ रहा है तो मतलब हार्ट की बात हो रही है, अगर कहीं पे रीनल आ रहा है तो मतलब किडनी की बात हो रही है, ठीक है। अगर कहीं पे पल्मोनरी आ रहा है तो मतलब लंग्स की बात हो रही है वहां पे, ठीक है। अगर कहीं पे इंटिग्यूमेंट्री आ रहा है दैट मीन्स स्किन की बात हो रही है वहां पे, ठीक है। अगर कहीं पे हिपैटिक वर्ड आ रहा है दैट मीन्स लिवर की बात हो रही है वहां पे, ठीक है। सो दीज वर्ड्स इफ यू रिमेंबर, आपको कभी रटने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, यू विल ऑटोमेटिकली अंडरस्टैंड दैट विच ऑर्गन दे आर रेफरिंग टू, ठीक है। सो पीवी मीन्स पल्मोनरी वेन, एंड आई हैव आल्सो रिटन वन मोर थिंग, पीए, पीए मीन्स पल्मोनरी आर्टरी। एक चीज और विच इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट योर हार्ट, ऑलवेज एंड ऑलवेज एंड ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, हार्ट के लेफ्ट साइड में हमेशा प्योर ब्लड होगा। प्योर ब्लड का मतलब है ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड होगा, और हार्ट के राइट साइड में हमेशा डीऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड होगा। इज इट क्लियर? The blood never mixes, because if the blood mix, the person would die. So always remember, ये वाली जो साइड है, ये लेफ्ट साइड है ना, इस साइड मैंने लेफ्ट ऑरिकल और लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल दिखाया है, तो मतलब हार्ट की इस वाली साइड में हमेशा प्योर ब्लड कैरी होगा। अभी आई विल शो यू आल्सो दैट हाउ इट इज कैरीड, ठीक है। और हार्ट की राइट साइड में हमेशा इम्प्योर ब्लड कैरी होगा। यू कैन राइट इट समवेयर that left side of the heart, left side always carry pure blood. Pure blood का मतलब ऑक्सीजन वाला ब्लड, ठीक है। राइट साइड always carry deoxygenated blood, that is impure blood. Is it clear? यहां तक किसी को कोई कंफ्यूजन? Okay. Now I'm going to show you how the blood is moving. Okay. Like I told you in the last lecture, that in your lungs, the oxygen you inhale the oxygen and you exhale the carbon dioxide. Okay, I told you in the last lecture, I told you about alveoli. Alveoli में exchange of gases होता है, ठीक है। I told you alveoli are covered with the blood capillaries, and the carbon dioxide, oxygen goes into your blood capillaries, and the carbon dioxide come back to the alveoli, and then you exhale it. I told you this, if you remember. Okay. So, lungs में आपका oxygenated blood है, ठीक है, क्योंकि lungs में exchange of gases हुआ है, lungs में oxygenated blood है, वो oxygenated blood आपका लंग से पल्मोनरी वेन में आ रहा है, ठीक है। आई हैव मेड दिस एरो, इफ यू कैन सी, आई डोंट नो द डायग्राम इज वेरी क्लियर और नॉट, ठीक है। ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड इज कमिंग टू द पल्मोनरी वेन। नाउ पल्मोनरी वेन से वो लेफ्ट ऑरिकल में आएगा, लेफ्ट ऑरिकल से वो लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में जाएगा, और लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल से वो फर्दर aorta में जाता है. This is your aorta. First listen and then write. Because if you will write this simultaneously, you might get confused. ठीक है, फिर से आई एम टेलिंग यू, लंग्स में से आपका ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड पल्मोनरी वेन में आया, पल्मोनरी वेन से लेफ्ट ऑरिकल में आया, लेफ्ट ऑरिकल से लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में आया, और लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल से वो आउटा में आया. ठीक है, so now you can see that the oxygenated blood has been only traveling on the left side, वो राइट साइड में कहीं नहीं आया है. ठीक है, अब वो आउटा से कहां जाएगा? आउटा से आपका ब्लड जाता है बॉडी में. ठीक है, from the aorta your blood is going into the body. And in the body, what it is doing, अभी तक यहाँ पे क्या था, ये सब oxygenated blood था, ठीक है. In the body, it is delivering the carbon, it is delivering the oxygen, ठीक है. Cells को, tissue को, सब जगह वो ऑक्सीजन डिलीवर कर रहा है, ठीक है. और वहां से क्या पिक कर रहा है, वहां से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड पिक कर रहा है. इट इज पिकिंग अप द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फ्रॉम द सेल्स एंड द टिश्यू, राइट. नाउ फ्रॉम द बॉडी, after picking the cells and the tissue, your blood comes into this vessel, and this vessel is known as your vena cava. I will write everything for you, don't worry. This vessel, I will also maybe I'll share a PDF of this with you, okay? That will be even helpful. From the body, which kind of blood has come? From the body, your carbon dioxide containing blood has come, and it has come into your vena cava. ये वाली जो blue वाली मैंने vessel बनाई है, this vessel is vena cava. Okay. Now vena cava से your blood will come into the right auricle. From the right auricle, it will come into the right ventricle, and from the right ventricle, it will come into pulmonary artery. And from the pulmonary artery, it will go into the lungs for oxygenation again. ठीक है. तो अब आपको आई थिंक यहां से ये चीज क्लियर हो गई होगी कि आपका लेफ्ट साइड ऑफ द हार्ट में हमेशा प्योर ब्लड मूव कर रहा है, मतलब ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड मूव कर रहा है, और राइट साइड ऑफ द हार्ट में इम्प्योर ब्लड मूव कर रहा है. जैसे कि आप देख सकते हैं दैट द ब्लड इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द बॉडी इनटू द वेना कावा, देन इनटू द राइट ऑरिकल, राइट वेंट्रिकल, एंड देन पल्मोनरी वेन. इज इट क्लियर? एनीवन हैविंग प्रॉब्लम टिल हियर? Tanish, Pranjal, Shanvi, Bidisha, is like, what is the pronunciation of your name?
Vidisha.
Bidisha. Okay, okay, fine. Okay. So, अब किसी के दिमाग में कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं आया इसमें? I told you in the beginning that arteries carry oxygenated blood. But here the pulmonary artery is carrying the carbon dioxide containing blood, and the pulmonary vein is carrying the oxygenated blood. ठीक है. So ये क्वेश्चन आना चाहिए था. ठीक है. आपकी बॉडी में जितनी भी आर्टरी और वेसल्स हैं वो इसी हिसाब से चलेंगी. Arteries oxygenated blood, vein carbon dioxide containing blood. But pulmonary artery is the only exceptional artery in your body that carries carbon dioxide containing blood. ठीक है. Pulmonary artery is the only exceptional artery in your body that carries carbon dioxide containing blood. Always remember this. Same goes with the pulmonary vein. Pulmonary vein is the exceptional vein that carries oxygen containing blood. Am I clear? Another thing. Vena cava. Vena cava is a vessel in your body, or you can say it is a vein in your body that collects the deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body and bring it to your heart. Okay, so vena cava is the vein that collects carbon dioxide containing blood from all parts of the body and brings it to heart. Is it clear? Another thing we have is aorta. It's not aorta, it's aorta. Okay. Aorta is the largest artery of the body. Yes, जो terms मैं बोल रही हूँ ये आपके one word kind of questions में आते हैं एग्जाम में. If you are being asked the largest artery of your body, it is aorta. ठीक है. aorta एक बहुत बड़ी आर्टरी है जो ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड को लेके जाती है और आपके बॉडी के हर सेल टिश्यू को डिलीवर करती है. ठीक है. aorta further splits into fine branches. That is a different thing. But aorta is the largest, first thing you write, largest artery of the body. It carries oxygenated blood. Is this clear, this much? Any problems, any doubt? Tanishq, is it clear? Okay.
Yes.
Now, after understanding this much, we are going to see something more. Left auricle and left ventricle. In between the left auricle and left ventricle, you have valves. And in between right auricle and right ventricle, also you have valves. Okay. Over here, I have made 2 lines, and over here, I have made 3 lines. Because between the left auricle and left ventricle, you have the bicuspid valve. And between the right auricle and right ventricle, you have a tricuspid valve. Okay. Valves are nothing, but they are just like.
Repeat this, ma'am.
Yeah. Between the left auricle and left ventricle, मतलब left side of the heart में आपका bicuspid valve होगा. Bicuspid से आपको समझ में आ रहा होगा. Bi means 2. That means 2 doors. In simple language, you can say 2 doors. ठीक है. Right side of the heart में मतलब right auricle और right ventricle के बीच में आपका tricuspid valve है. Tri means 3. That means 3 doors. आप किसी शोरूम में जाते हो, किसी सलून में जाते हो, you must have seen बहुत सारे doors ऐसे होते हैं which are just one way. You open in one direction and then they close automatically. ठीक है. आप पुश करते हो फिर वो अपने आप ही धीरे धीरे बंद हो जाते हैं. आप उसको दूसरे साइड पे नहीं खींच सकते. वो एक ही one way doors होते हैं. ठीक है. These valves are also like the same. I will just write the spelling of valve so that you get the pronunciation. Valves. I'm not saying wall. W-A-L-L. Not that. It is valves. Okay. So these valves are basically door-like structures. They open in one direction and then they shut automatically. They open and then they shut. They open and they shut. Okay, like that. Okay. These valves basically help in preventing the backflow of the blood. Very, very important point. The backflow of the blood. फंक्शन ऑफ द वॉल्व अगर पूछा जाए तो इट विल प्रिवेंट द बैकफ्लो ऑफ द ब्लड। ठीक है, अब ये बैकफ्लो कैसे प्रिवेंट कर रहा है? Your blood has come from the lungs to the pulmonary vein, then to the left auricles. Now from the left auricles, how it will get into the left ventricles? Through these valves only. ठीक है, जब ये लेफ्ट ऑरिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेगा, ठीक है, तो जब आपने देखा है किसी बलून में कम हो जाती है जब हवा, ठीक है, या जो वाटर वाला बलून होता है, आप उसको एक साइड से दबाओ तो पानी दूसरे साइड चला जाता है, दूसरे साइड से दबाओ तो पानी नीचे आ जाता है। ठीक है, आपने करा होगा ये। ठीक है, या फिर किसी बलून में हवा कम हो जाती है तो भी अगर आप उसको स्क्वीज करो तो हवा एक तरफ चली जाती है, एंड देन यू स्क्वीज फ्रॉम द अदर साइड, द एयर कम्स डाउन, राइट? सो सेम वेज, when these auricles will contract, because of the pressure, the blood will tend to come down, it will automatically come down. ठीक है, so it will come down through these valves, through these channels. They will open in downward directions and allow the blood from the auricle to move into the ventricle, and once the blood has filled into the ventricle, they will shut and close, so that the blood do not move back into the ventricles. Because if the blood so that the blood do not move back into the auricles, because if the blood move back, then it might cause damage to the heart. Is it clear? ठीक है, now in the right side of the heart you have tricuspid valve. I'm writing it. In the right side of the heart, has tricuspid valve. Okay, and the left side of the heart have your bicuspid valve. Is it okay? Now, why do you think that the right side has the tricuspid and the left side has the bicuspid? ऐसा क्यों कि लेफ्ट साइड में सिर्फ 2 ही दरवाजे हैं और राइट साइड में 3 दरवाजे हैं? ऑरिकल से ब्लड वेंट्रिकल में आना है, दोनों तरफ 2-2 हो सकते थे या दोनों तरफ 3-3 हो सकते थे। क्यों है ऐसा कि एक तरफ 2 हैं, एक तरफ 3 है, एक तरफ 2 वॉल्व हैं, एक तरफ 3 वॉल्व हैं? Yes, Shanvi.
In the left side, they have for like the upper body and the lower body.
Upper body and the lower body मतलब
ब्लड को अगर ना upper body और lower body दोनों साइड में
दोनों साइड में जाना होता है।
हाँ,
No, we will be talking about the upper body and the lower body, but abhi tak we haven't talked about it, so that is not the reason. There is the reason here only which I have taught you. Left side of the heart has pure blood, right? Right side of the heart has impure blood. So to make doubly sure that the blood do not go back, the right side of the heart has tricuspid valve. क्योंकि अगर deoxygenated blood backflow कर गया तो पक्का the chances are for death. अगर एक बार को ऑक्सीजनेटेड ब्लड बैकफ्लो कर भी गया तो डैमेज हो सकता है, बट इंसान विल नॉट डाई. बट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कंटेनिंग ब्लड अगर एक बार बैकफ्लो हो गया तो श्योरली इट्स लीड्स टू डेथ. Okay, so since the right side has deoxygenated blood, that is why tricuspid valves are there. The left side has oxygenated blood, so bicuspid valves are there. Okay. The upper body and the lower body thing is not related to the valves. They are related to your aorta and vena cava. Okay, so we will be discussing that also. Since we are talking about the valves, so हमने auricles और ventricles के बीच के valve discuss कर लिए. Now there is one more valve which is there between, just a second, the valve is there between your aorta and your left, your aorta and your left ventricle. Over here, one valve, and the other valve is over here between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. Okay, so this valve between the aorta and the left ventricle is known as aortic valve. Aortic valve.
Ma'am, I don't understand why the right side of the heart has three cuspid walls and how does it help? Tricuspid. Oh, how does it help?
Right side has deoxygenated blood, right? So to be more sure that the blood does not flows back, ठीक है, there are tricuspid valve. ठीक है, अगर कोई चीज आपको ज्यादा प्यारी है तो आप उसको ज्यादा सिक्योरिटी में रखते हो ना. ठीक है, same ways right side has deoxygenated blood, so naturally our body cannot handle the backflow of the carbon dioxide containing blood, because carbon dioxide containing blood अगर एक बार आपका auricle से ventricle में आ गया और valve सही से shut नहीं है या कम protection of valves है and blood वापस चला गया, so it leads to death. Okay, and one reason more that the deoxygenated containing blood moves with a lesser pressure. The pressure is comparatively less, which is a very mild difference. बहुत ज़्यादा difference नहीं होता है, but at your level, this is the reason that to be more sure that the blood doesn't flows back. Okay, is it okay? Okay, so aorta और लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल के बीच में जो ब्लड है दैट इज द जो वॉल्व है दैट इज द आउटिक वॉल्व, एंड पल्मोनरी आर्टरी एंड वेंट्रिकल के बीच में जो वॉल्व है दैट इज द सेमील्यूनर वॉल्व. ओके, so these walls and the upper part of the body and the lower part of the body we will discuss further in the next class. Is it okay? I will try to share the PDF of this much in proper written with proper diagrams so that you may understand better. Okay. Should I erase? Any problem? Pranjal? No? Okay, still some of the topics are left in this chapter, so I will take it in the next class and I'll share the PDF. Okay. Okay, thank you then.